Gulf Island, deep in the South Atlantic, is a remote sanctuary where seabirds thrive, untouched by humans. Its green cliffs and crashing waves create a dramatic, peaceful world apart. Rockhopper penguins with wild yellow crests waddle across jagged rocks. Clumsy on land, they become swift hunters in the sea, diving for fish and krill. For generations, penguins and albatrosses raised their young in peace, safe from predators, their colonies thriving in balance. But this harmony was about to be shattered by an unexpected threat, putting the island's future at risk. Trouble arrived quietly, hidden deep in the dark, cramped holds of old wooden sailing ships. Rats, stowaways from distant lands, unseen and uninvited. These small creatures clung to life among the barrels and crates, surviving the long, perilous journey across the ocean. When these ships finally anchored at remote islands, the rats wasted no time. They scurried down gangplanks and slipped ashore, becoming the very first land mammals ever to set foot on Gulf Island. With no natural predators to keep them in check, the rats found endless food and shelter in the island's lush undergrowth and rocky crevices. At first, their numbers were small, and they went largely unnoticed by the island's birds. But rats multiply fast, and soon their presence began to grow. Within a few short years, their numbers exploded. Thousands, then millions, spreading relentlessly across every corner of the island. The island's birds, unprepared for ground predators, had no defenses against these new invaders. Their nests were simple scrapes on the ground, completely exposed and vulnerable to hungry rats. The sailors who unknowingly brought the rats ashore never realized the chaos they were about to unleash on this fragile ecosystem. Gulf Island, once a sanctuary teeming with birds, was quickly transformed into a kingdom ruled by rats. The penguins and albatrosses faced a threat they could not understand, their chicks and eggs suddenly at risk. The delicate balance of the island was shattered, its once pristine habitat now overrun and forever changed. The rats, an invasive species, began their silent invasion, moving under cover of darkness and multiplying unchecked. The greatest danger the island's birds had ever faced was now everywhere, threatening their very survival with every passing night. The rats quickly discovered penguin eggs, an easy meal, rich in nutrients and left unguarded for just moments at a time. Parents would leave the nest for a moment and rats would strike, devouring eggs and shattering hopes for new chicks. The once safe nests became scenes of heartbreak, littered with broken shells and dashed dreams. As their numbers grew, rats became bolder, attacking defenseless chicks. Even the youngest, barely hatched, were not spared from the onslaught. Penguins tried to fight back using their beaks and flippers to defend their nests, but the swarms were relentless and overwhelming. Year after year, fewer chicks survived. The colony grew eerily quiet. The once lively calls of young penguins faded, replaced by silence and loss. Scientists later found that millions of seabird chicks were lost each year. The scale of devastation was almost unimaginable, with entire breeding seasons wiped out. The rats weren't just a nuisance. They were wiping out entire generations, leaving behind empty nests and devastated colonies. The devastation spread to other birds, including the giant Tristan albatross, whose chicks once seemed too large to be threatened. Even their large chicks were not safe from nighttime attacks. Under the cover of darkness, rats gnawed at the helpless young, leaving them fatally wounded. Gulf Island, once a vibrant nursery, became a graveyard. The landscape, once teeming with life, now echoed with emptiness. The natural order was shattered by a single invasive species, forever altering the delicate balance of this remote ecosystem. The paradise was now a nightmare for its feathered inhabitants, who faced daily threats and an uncertain future. The future of the island's birds looked grim, their survival hanging by a thread as the rats continued their reign of destruction. The rats' destruction went beyond the birds. They devoured seeds, halting new plant growth and thinning the island's green cover. Native insects, beetles, moths, spiders were hunted relentlessly, disrupting pollination and decomposition. The food web unraveled, plants struggled, insects vanished, and the soil grew poor. With fewer birds, less nutrient-rich guano fertilized the land, stressing vegetation further. The ecosystem began to collapse, each loss triggering another. The island's vibrant life faded. Silence replaced the buzz of insects and the calls of chicks. Rats were starving the island itself, not just its animals. Gulf Island's delicate balance was in ruins. The paradise was sick, its silent scream echoing in empty nests and barren ground. Urgent help was needed to save what remained. Scientists finally heard the island's cry for help. They realized that to save Gulf Island, every rat had to go. The Gulf Island Restoration Program was launched, a bold plan to eradicate the rats. Experts from around the world joined forces using helicopters to spread special bait across the rugged island. The operation was massive, precise, dangerous, and expensive. Teams worked in harsh conditions, covering every corner with bait. Native birds like the Gauff bunting were protected in temporary aviaries. The goal was total eradication. If even one rat survived, the problem would return. The fate of the island's wildlife depended on the mission's success. It was a race against time and nature. The world watched, hoping for a miracle. Gauff Island's future hung in the balance. After the baiting, the team waited anxiously, monitoring for any sign of rats. Months passed, no tracks, no nibbled bait, no scurrying in the night. After 2 years, Gauff Island was declared rat-free. The change was immediate. Penguin chicks survived. Parents could leave nests without fear. The air filled with the sound of new life. Chicks chirping, albatrosses soaring. Native plants began to regrow, insects returned, and the ecosystem started to heal. The web of life was slowly rewoven. The project saved not just birds but an entire world. Gauff Island became a symbol of hope and recovery. The penguins thrived, their future bright once more. The albatrosses soared over a safe home. The island's story proved that nature can heal with our help. Gauff Island's recovery was a victory for conservation. Gauff Island's story is a lesson for us all. It shows how a small mistake, rats from a ship, can devastate an entire ecosystem. Islands are especially vulnerable, their wildlife unprepared for new threats. But the rescue of Gauff Island proves we can fix what we've broken. Conservation takes time, teamwork, and commitment. The work isn't over. Scientists will keep watch, protecting the island's fragile recovery. Every ecosystem is valuable. Every species has a role. By saving one island, we strengthen the whole planet. The tale of the penguins and the rats is a call to action. Protect, restore, and cherish our natural world. We are all caretakers of this beautiful, fragile Earth.